welcome back to the next episode of Behind the Song. And today we're gonna tackle Eulogy for Dying Star Part 1. This is probably gonna be a very short um, video because the song is relatively short. It's very simple as well. Um, and one thing you will notice here is that it's not like the other session where I have mostly like multi-track. This one also have like MIDI and other weird things like automations and everything because yeah, like it's just so simple that it didn't make sense to for me to just like I to like render everything out into like a multi-track. I did do it just for the sake of like keeping things organized and everything. Like if I need ever like this project crash and I cannot load it, then I still have like all the files. Um, but for the sake of like the mixing and keeping everything just like simple, like I was like, yeah, that's I'm just gonna do it here. So yeah, let's just go through it. And I think this one I can keep the limiter on the master bus. So there is like not nothing here. It's a very simple track. We start off with this ambient pad here. And this is the same synth that I use for part two as well, which I'm probably not gonna go into part two because it's also like very simple. You start with this ambient, and then we have some piano and some ambient stuff in the background. So I don't think we need to go into that song. Um, but yeah, so like for this one, you can see this is like the MIDI, and this one is a plugin called Monolith, I believe. Let's see if it load. It does load, but then it looks like shit because reason. Well, anyhow, but yeah, I just get it. I get the sound because it's also this thing takes a huge amount of CPU, so I render it into this. So I just run it through. This is basically like the chord progression that I made the second part first actually, and then I was like, okay, the second part is like it's a nice ending, and I want to do something in a similar vein, but like before the album, before that song, like somewhere in the middle of the song. Blah, 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 sorry, somewhere in the middle of the album. So that's why I put it here. So beginning, that's just that chord, and then down here we have multiple. Okay, this is what it's usually look like when I record my vocals. So like the session where I do record my vocal, it looks kind of like this. Like it's just a bunch of different takes, and then I come into one that I like. I mean, but even when you look at it, there's like okay, so there's 1.4, 1.6, 1.5, and I think there's just a 1.8 at the end. So yeah, there's like four different takes, and I just calm them into this vocal line melody here. Come back to me, let us sing the eulogy for our stars. They who died in night fade into blood, yes, like your name in the sand. Come back to me, let us sing the eulogy for our stars. Beautiful, eternal, all that you are. In the night, while you sleep, you burn so bright. And so this convolver reverb, it's usually the one that I really like to use on vocal when the vocal is like a single vocal. Um, I'm not exactly sure why yet at this point why I like it more than say like Pro R, Fab Future Pro R or Valhalla Reverb, right? Which is those two I use a lot when it comes to like group and gang vocal. I think for me mostly is because I like the others reverb just add, I don't know, like a sense of a lot more space to it, so to speak. Whereas like this convolver, it's more like just adding a bit of the tail, and so it doesn't sound reverby as much as the other one. Rather, it's just a bit more focused and to like in your face. But I mean, I break that rules right here when on a second verse where I actually have the Valhalla vintage verb on it. Um, yeah, it's really, it comes down to um, where does it work? You know, like which kind of plugins does work in which situation, and to me, more often than not, it's also like, yeah, I try different things out and I see like, okay, which one vibe the most. Um, and for me, more often than not, when it comes to like solo vocals, I like the Fruity Convolver a bit more than the other thing. But as you can see, like with the example down here, I use a different thing. And there's an other there's like different version down here. Come back to me. And okay, there's this crying part thing. um, so this part, so when I made this the second part actually, like I want to sing this melody there, but then it just doesn't sound right. I don't know, for whatever reason it just doesn't sound right. Um, and one day I was just listening to this album, like the demos and everything, and I was just crying a lot because like this album is very personal. Um, and so at the end I was like, wait, shit, I'm crying, and I think like it's gonna work really well if I sing the melody while I was crying. Um, and I tried that and I recorded on the other session, and of course it sounded like shit because I was crying and I was definitely not in tune at all. A lot of part, but there's a lot of like crying tits and bits that I really like, and for me like I put them here because for me like it's important in a sense, like I was able to process all my emotions and I was then able to like, you know, encode that into my song, and which to me is more monumental because like before I couldn't cry and now I could like put it into a song, and I just find it very like powerful. So like, yeah, I want to keep the crying but I probably don't want to keep the singing, and so I just cut out all the crying part and I just put it here and later with the rest of the compositions. But yeah, so that's the beginning, and then we move to this second part, and here I would just do this thing where it was the end of like the last bit of this path, and it has this nice, I like a pedal note and I really like it, and it's sort of something that I came across like accidentally because I was just like hit playing, and when you hit play here like you hear that bum, right? So like, okay, that sounds kind of cool, so I just cut it and then layer it on top. So we have a verse synth, and this thing is just basically one phrase going all the way through. And this thing is a, let's see, I don't remember which plugins. I think it's one of those. I name it, so it might be Pigment. Yeah, it is Pigment. Um, so yeah, it's like a very simple with this pedals pad in the background. Sing back to me the melody so what happens here? So yeah, we have this verse synth that's doing just one phrase over and over again. Then we have this reverse box, which is also another pigment, and I also use this one on Blade, I believe. I also use this one, and maybe also even on Stardust. I don't remember exactly. And yeah, just some melodies going on top. And then towards halfway through, we have another thing going on, which is the verse bass. It's a June 6V. It's Arturia synthesizer. Um, I just like how it sounded. And I was like, okay, I need some sort of bass, um, and something just very, mm, just like give an oomph to it. And yeah, it sounds like this. Just very low. Just add that little like sub element. Um, and then we have this cluster bell. Also another pigman, yeah. And yeah, I really love this part because it's basically like a four-part harmony. Not all the time, but they kind of go in and out, as well with the vocals. So like it's quite complicated, this part, and I'm really happy how it turns out. So here's how it sounds without the vocals, like the whole thing. So it's sort of inspired by like a fugue, in a sense, right? Where you have like the melodies going, and then one bar later, another instrument goes in and plays sort of like the same melody, so to speak, and then just sort of continuously repeating, and then just create like these layers of sound. Um, and yeah, I just really love that. And then we have some, well, crying. Uh, um, yeah, you don't need to hear that. And this other vocal line. Sing back to me the melody rose while your blood flows. Very simple. We got the out of you. I can't stop you from living this world. Reverb. Come back to me, my dying stars. Sing back to me the melody you wrote. I try multiple different versions, as you can see here. Like in the beginning, we had the intro box, and there's like a shit ton of stuff going on because like I was like, I don't know, like it just I was trying to sing, to like get it to the tone that I like, and it so that it fit the sound, and then it just didn't work, and I was just putting a lot of effects on, and then it's just like it sounded kind of shit. Um, so then I decided, okay, it doesn't work. I was singing it wrong somehow. I don't know. Let me see if I can find. Like I think maybe this one was in. Yeah. Okay. So this thing. If I'm turning this thing on, see how it sounds like. And back to me, the melody you wrote. Why your blood flow? I think I was singing it way too quiet, and it just doesn't translate well in comparison to this one. I think it did the same thing with the beginning as well, and where it's singing like, it says like "come back to me." I just come back to me, like very whispery, and it just didn't cut through like this whole dense sounds in the middle. And yeah, and then it reached the end, which is one of my favorite parts throughout this whole album. And it's noisy as fuck, and I like it. So what this one is the also the same um, synthesizer as the beginning, where same chord progression as the beginning. Not chord progression, just a chord. And then what I did is that I ran it through this thing. So what do we have here? We have a Saturn. I love this one, and then with the Saturn, I was also like automating it a lot. I don't think I have the automation here anymore, but I was just automating the living hell out of like the frequency and dynamic and the feedback, so that it just create like this like morphing sound. And then what else do I have in there? this fruity wave shaper as always, one of my favorite distortion, and as you can see with this one, I really cranked the living hell out of it. Let's see if I play, if there's any automation moving somewhere. Yeah, I think I delete the automation, or I just accidentally like yeah, I don't have it anymore. The thing but then I printed out, so that was the idea. So, and then what else do I have? And then have some ProQ just to get rid of some of that like very high sizzle, soothe, so to tame that sizzle again. More EQ just to get because it would have a lot of like rumbly low I don't want. And then just like I record it as it was playing. Oh no, I think I don't have the automation because I was recording it. Yes, so I was playing and then I link like the knobs into like my MIDI controller and just tweaking it as I go, and that's how I get this sound. And I really love this. Yeah, and then on this one, more EQ because and reverb and even more EQ. Probably overkill, but you know. It just sounds so organic and just like warm and has so much depth and harmonic in it. Like it doesn't sound like painful to the ears, or at least not to me. I mean, I don't know about how others perceive it, but to me, like it's just like a really warm, very fuzzy, analog-y kind of sound that came out of it, and that is why I love Saturn so much. It's just it doesn't sound like any of the other like saturation plugins where it can sound a bit cold and metallic, whereas like this one, it's just warm and fuzzy and mwah. And another layer is underneath this sound is this thing down here. This one.
You don't need to be like the best of things to be accepted. Have faith that everything happens for a reason. Because it just
yeah, and this thing like adds a bit of that like that top end to the sound, whereas with the noise, because like I filter it out quite a lot, so it loses a bit of that like high frequency, and the vocal distortion adds back those things in. And these ones are basically I was just asking my friends to like what would they tell them like a younger self, what would they tell like the younger self like a life lesson or something. And yeah, and this is what they were saying, and there was like a bunch of people, and I just grouped them all together into like is this playing 27.
Need to be like the best at the things to be accepted, and
this is Arena, who's also like singing in Wear the Scars.
To be accepted, it's not because.
Yeah, and I just really just use them, and then also
And
this also is still her. And then down here we have more people.
It's okay to be yourself. With some people.
Yeah, and so I just put all of them together, and towards the end, like this is one of the lines I like the most. And the moment that I record this one and I put it in, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want to hear in this particular part.
You don't have to be perfect.
Okay, that's
You don't have to be perfect to be loved.
yeah, and when I heard that, I was like, yes, that's it. Because it's also very fitting to the theme of the albums and everything. But of course, like all of these are behind this wall of noise, because within this album, like the narrative is going, like it's the main character couldn't hear or couldn't perceive like the love and the support of the people around them, because they were so depressed, and they were so just broken. And if you have ever been in a situation where just feel very depressed, and like there's a lot of voices in your head that just drone out everything else, that and makes you just like questioning a lot of things, and um, kind of blinds you to what is, like there are things around you that are, and people around you that are really just like helping and love and care about you, but you just couldn't see it, and or you couldn't hear it because like all the noises in your head. And that's sort of what I was trying to create with this part, where that all these noises are basically what is happening in the brain of the main character. um so yeah, and I just really love this part. And then towards the end I have a bit of the like this reverb thing, just so that it go yeah. And that's pretty much it. It's a very short track. Well, not very short, it's like still like 3 minute ish. But fairly simple. Out of all the track that I did, like this one and the last track are very simple. um but yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this episode, very short one. We still have two more songs to go through, which will be Blade and Swallow the Sun. And yeah, until then, go stream the album. And it's out everywhere now. Comment down below which song is your favorite, which song is your least favorite. Do you like the album? Do you love the album? Do you really hate it? Should I stop making music? Comment down below what's your thought on it. Yeah, and until then, have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your time with your families, your friends, your loved one, and be kind to each other. Cheers.